So today I'm going to talk about ethics and values in FOSS, sustainability of open source development, and the NGI search vision. So the EU's next generation internet, so NGI, funds diverse projects from a range of developers, SMEs, entrepreneurs, academics, and activists. And one of them, these projects, is NGI Search. So the vision of the NGI Search project is to change the way we use and experience search and discover data and resources in general on the internet and on the web, with the condition that all code from deliverables must be made open source. So the NGI Search team includes different partners, so Linknovate, University of Murcia, Funding Box, Aarhus University, and some of the people you see on the screen from OW2 who are running around here. So the NGI Search objectives, it begins with intelligently scouting 5 open calls. So there's already been 4. The 5th one I'll discuss at the end of the talk. And they want to seek and find talented researchers, innovators, and activists working in search and discovery within a human-centric context. So meaning privacy aware and trust-oriented, as well as vertical use cases developed jointly with industry. They support and mentor the selected candidates over a 12-month custom program with 10 value-added services. So I'm going to come back to these at the end of the talk, so I will not mention them all here. And these awardees then are integrated into the NGI community, in particular the sister Research Innovation Action on infrastructure, as well as communicate and disseminate their results to help the uptake and use of the developed technologies and solutions. So they need to synergize with national, regional, and international initiatives to establish a peer-based system of quality and dissemination at the global level. So, some topics. This is the beginning slides of the first call. And so the topics range from power cognitive search by reinforcement learning, machine-based data, AI-based taxonomies, network analysis, AI-based search tools and content generators, ethics in search and discovery, enabling new ways of discovering and accessing information, and ultimately transversal to green technologies. So I'm going to focus now on one of them, ethics in search and discovery, which is defined as an ethical framework for search and discovery so that algorithms do not infringe on fundamental human rights, from privacy and data confidentiality to gender minority equality, freedom of choice, and conscience. Solutions aligned with the European Commission report Ethics Guidelines for Trustworthy AI is a clear benchmark to evaluate the responsible development of AI systems applied to the discovery and search. So debiasing mechanisms such as data augmentation and resampling, promoting minority gender tagging, and bias fine-tuning mechanisms are encouraged towards the development of responsible and explainable AI in ethical terms. What am I doing here? Well, I'm conducting ethnographic interviews with some of the developers to comprehend the ethics and values and the forms that open source is taking within their awarded projects. I'm a postdoc at Aarhus University and part of the FOSS research group, which is situated at the Department of Business Development and Technology, aka BTECH, in Denmark. So, as I just mentioned, these are some of the research questions that I've been asking the awardees. So the first question is, initiated as a response to proprietary code, open source grew out of the FLOSS movement, with code shared openly and made available for modification and redistribution, as we have heard earlier today. However, others promote FLOSS values and state that open source is the resulting business model built upon it. In which ways do developers perceive differences between FOSS and open source, if any? The second question is that the evolving genre of FOSS open source has been offered as a solution to the problems of corporate proprietary code as a decentralized software development model with its main principle peer production. What are some of the values of this open infrastructure? And third, FOSS open source opens the door to software developers worldwide as a technical solution based on shared resources, where human programmers, and nowadays chatbots, build upon the work of others, often in a collaborative process. Yet why is it necessary to understand what FOSS open source is, its histories, and how public funding promotes its sustainability? So in regard to this sustainability question, my colleagues and so other members of the FOSS research group are researching the sustainability of open source development through various lenses: financial, ideological, mental health community. They're conducting self-designed surveys with all of the NGI awardees and investigate what types of business models are at play. And they're carrying out interviews also with the recipients, transcribing and then coding the data to understand how sustainability is attained or not in each of the funded NGI projects. So what has been already obtained? What is the impact of next generation internet so far? The following are excerpts from a 2024 study by Gartner, commissioned by the European Commission, that was presented at FOSDEM, which I was fortunately able to attend. Here I will specifically discuss the results about sustainability aspects. So the NGI projects are open source, and more than half provide alternatives to proprietary solutions. In regard to sustainability, 75% of NGI projects follow through. 60% was part of a larger effort, and the new software was integrated. 30% received funding, new funding, and 8% saw a company or foundation created afterwards. Based on this, Gartner estimates that NGI has created 80 new sustainable legal structures. So NGI projects have fueled different varied business models, as we've heard earlier today. So software as a service, managed hosting, consulting, products, hardware and software, integration services, support contact, freemium and premium business models, including subscription contracts and other. NGI projects also attract community talent and effort. So 40 have a small community of less than 10 people. About 15% of projects have more than 50 people, and 6 projects had more than 1,000 people. So the NGI tapped successfully into open source community, and an estimated 80,000 people are contributing through code, testing, or the bug community. So now I return to NGI Search's main achievement so far. So this is up till round 4. So it's the novel recruitment mechanisms. So NGI searchers using data-driven methods alongside more traditional methods. That's work package 1. Solid and rigorous open call management and documentation, including addressing potential conflicts of interests and ethical issues. A portfolio now of 44 grassroots projects, so these are the awardees, on a wide range of topics covering digital commons, services for citizens and businesses for search and discovery, large language models, fake news detection, ethical AI, and AI analyses tools, privacy-aware search engines, and as well as several industry-specific services such as food, health, research, marketing, etc. So there's also good interaction with the coordination and support activities on communication, impact generation, and recently policy. And there's a top-class advisory board helping connect projects to standards, events, and finding interesting NGI searchers. There's also participation in the NGI forum, FOSS, as I mentioned, and OW2.com, where we are. Amongst other events, recruiting NGI searchers and exposing NGI financial support for third parties projects to a wider audience. Ultimately, it's creating a strong connection to the sister project, which is called Open Web Search. And this is going to connect then these financial support for third parties to this forthcoming project. So what is the Open Web Search project? So here's a screenshot of the homepage. And on it, there's a quote by the head of the project, Michael Granitzer, who says, "Free, open, and unbiased access to information. We have lost these core principles in web search and urgently need to restore them. This is why openwebsearch.eu will create an open European infrastructure for internet search, based on European values and jurisdiction." So in regard to the Open Web Search projects, I am a member of what we call the Working Group Ethics that will eventually deliver an ethical framework for the Open Web Index. So now I'm going to return to what I introduced in the beginning of the presentation, the NGI Search Added Value Services, starting with technological support. So there's technology mentoring and advice by the University of Murcia, and this supports the teams with technical difficulties they may encounter. So the University of Murcia organizes mentoring sessions to respond to specific issues, and this includes data, tools, platforms, algorithms, amongst others. Technical advice is also offered by all the mentors during their standard meetings. And there's beta testing, and the aim is to release an early version of the software to a limited audience, external to the programming team to test the user's acceptance. Those groups who intend to prepare a beta testing campaign will receive support during the whole process. There's a link to standards and foundations, and that's the aim is to connect one project to another similar one, to create a starting point to understand how the same issues have been addressed by other projects that are awarded funding within NGI Search. And the service is a compilation of standards, documentation, initiatives, foundations, and other projects that are working on the same field or in a similar context. So, in regard to the business supports, there's market readiness. So market readiness program is to address the delivery challenge of open source software developments. And then OW2 provides an analysis of open source market potential through a methodology called market readiness levels, as well as advice on best practices and quality metrics. There's pitch training, and this is to prepare the NGI searchers in pitching their projects to potential investors and end users. So there was a pitch training workshop held that proposes then 5 steps for an effective pitch. And this was arranged and recorded in November 2023. And it's available online for all of you to view of the funded team so far. And there's also business modeling and coaching. So this is Aarhus University deliverable or helping with an online toolbox for digital business development to identify and implement business models. And when needed, they plan coaching sessions to give advice on tailored business models. And lastly, innovative management. So in regard to open source licensing, OW2 organizes personalized sessions to provide guidance in the selection and management of an open source license. There's market landscaping and research to ensure a thorough understanding of innovation landscape through a comprehensive approach. This is Linknovate, provides access to their platform to diagnose, to dispose of their online services. Reports of different kinds are offered to provide services such as analysis of the state of the art, trend analysis, competitor monitoring, collaboration willingness, technology readiness, and so forth. There's also open science advice, and this is University of Murcia, and that's to offer guidance in adopting open science practice, emphasizing the principles of transparency, sharing, collaboration, and reproducibility. And lastly, content creation support for marketing materials. FPA offers their assistance in the production of content in order to increase the visibility of the project's results. So this is a slide of the NGI search status so far. And you see here the 44 projects that have been funded. And you can go to the website, as I mentioned before, and see short descriptions of all the projects and listen to their pitches. And you see now that the last call is open. I think most of you have seen this around. This is the flyer. And that is to connect with the Open Web Search Index. So this is from another page from the Open Web Index, openwebsearch.eu sites. This is the Owler, this is the crawler. And this is what they've been doing. They've been publishing now brief updates. So, for example, it's already crawled 1.3 billion URLs in 185 languages. And this is a slide of the examples of NGI searchers. Everybody makes a sticker. So there's 44 stickers in circulation already. But for example, ChatDKG is a platform that aims to provide privacy and trust in search and discovery of crucial knowledge assets, aiming to improve environmental sustainability of the built environment in the EU. The Ma Data project uses digital commons and language models to improve how citizens search for and request information from public authorities in France, Freedom of Information Act. And Vice aims to create an open source AI search server which adds an efficient conversational layer on top of an XWiki or any other CSMs by running LLMs on consumer grade or cloud GPU hardware using the OpenAI API and the local AI framework. So if you would like to hear more about these successful projects, please come to the NGI breakout session, success stories from NGI funding tomorrow from 2 till 3:20 to hear more detailed accounts from Herefanami, so that's health, real, fake news mitigation, Mindbugs discovery, MetaVision, and OKLLM. And finally, the NGI 5th open call is now out. And this is the list of topics. And the deadline is July 29th, 2024. So please tell all of your colleagues and friends. So thank you.